we're here to talk about the technology that you have on your
Yeah.
farm that's changed the way you farm drastically. Talk me through a day in your life.
Um, well, it certainly has changed. If you just look at a typical day in the orchards, whereas we used to, and it wasn't long ago, we used to do irrigation through flood irrigation. So this was one of these big old engines on the river to pump the water up, and then we used to literally flood the orchards using small channels, and then you'd have a team of guys with spades making sure that the water is being channeled around the orchard. Not a very efficient way of leading water, but it certainly was the best we had, and I remember those days well. It's now got to the point where we have what they call soft starters. You literally can start, whilst we sat here now, in fact, I could start the pumps on my phone. I could say, right, start them. I can see them starting up. I can see exactly what revs they're working at. I can then tell them, all right, we need, say for instance, 4.5 bars of pressure in the pipes, get it to that level. I can open the taps in the respective orchards to make sure that that orchard is getting water, that one's closed.
Mm-hmm.
I can also read on an app what the water capacity or the ground, how much water is in the ground in any particular orchard at any time. So the little facets like that which are completely different. And to think that has happened within the last 15 years is incredible.
It sounds incredible. Now, is this technology commonplace for other farms in the Karoo, other farms around you?
You know, Jen, it's becoming more commonplace, particularly with things like Eskom. People are having to become more efficient with power. So for us to have these what they call soft starters, it's essential, because whereas in the past those motors used to run at max all the time, you used to literally regulate them with a tap. Now the motor is regulated by itself. So in other words, it uses, it's remarkable how much more efficient we are with electricity. But on top of that, with water being such a scarce resource and us having to become more and more particular about our usage on that, it's great because we know exactly how much we need to put down, where we need to put down, and when. And that also has a lot of knock-on effects, of course, for the quality of the crop. Because if the crop is getting, or the trees are getting the exact water which they require, they have perfect nut fill, they're consistent. Otherwise, it's a bit of a guessing game. And if you don't get that right, you can see drastic problems in your orchard. So it's been a good change.
Has it been expensive at all to set up this kind of technology on the farm?
I think for us it's a case of it's an outlay. It's a capital outlay, but when you look at the numbers and you look and see how more efficient you are being with your electricity usage, with water, it's actually a no-brainer. Guys all over, all the irrigation farmers are having to go that way. It's essential. So yeah, it might cost a little bit in the beginning, but you can pay that off very, very quickly. So it's worth it.
Now, we've spoken about the changes that you've seen throughout your lifetime on your farm. How do you predict farms in South Africa are going to change within the next few decades?
From a technological aspect?
Yeah.
Well, it's almost impossible to guess, isn't it? If you look at the last 10 years, the last 5 years, and try and predict where it's going to be in the next 5, it's remarkable. The big thing is that where we're lucky now is the fact that we have the ability to get consistent cell phone network coverage, Wi-Fi, all those sort of things. So in the past, even though the technology was possibly there, it was almost impossible to use it efficiently.
A weak signal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have those constants, it was more of a theory. Yeah, we could do these things, but you couldn't actually physically implement them. Where it's going to go, I don't know, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
That's for sure.